Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. The police investigation into the case of an envelope addressed to Pope Francis containing 3 bullets is progressing as Italian police announced the sender's identification. On August 8th, an Italian post office manager in Peschiera Borromeo, about 7 miles southeast of Milan, found a suspicious mail addressed to the Pope. After informing the authorities, the Italian police intercepted the mail containing the 3 9mm gun bullets and a copy of a €10 deposit. The letter addressed to the Pope, Vatican City, St. Peter's Square in Rome, had no address and carried a French stamp. The Italian police announced that the mail sender is a French citizen but didn't reveal his personal information. However, they added that the sender is, quote, already known to Vatican security, with whom the Carabinieri of Milan will now coordinate to evaluate the meaning of the gesture and its possible danger, end quote. The people of Myanmar, who are braving their lives in fighting for democracy, marked the 33rd anniversary of the 1988 anti-Junta uprising. One of the most significant uprisings against the Burmese military in history, the August 8, 1988 protest was brutally crushed by the junta. The uprising, which started as a student protest, later spread across the country that was under military rule. The army, which opened fire against the protesters, killed an estimated 3,000 people. The pro-democracy uprising later came to be known as 8888, corresponding to its date. This uprising brought Myanmar's leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, to the forefront. Currently under military custody, the democratically elected government of Suu Kyi was overthrown by the military coup of February 1st. On Sunday, protesters clad in red marched the 33rd anniversary with flash mobs and marches in Yangon and Mandalay. As the nation continues its fight for democracy, the placards from the demonstrations read, quote, "Let's struggle together towards the unfinished 8888 people's liberation," end quote. As the COVID-19 pandemic threatens more lives in Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards has once again called for prayer and fasting. Governor Edwards has invited all Louisianans who believe in the power of prayer to join him in praying and fasting during their lunch hour for all healthcare workers and people affected by the pandemic for 3 days from August 9th through the 11th. In a statement released on August 6th, the governor said, quote, "I believe very strongly in the power of prayer, and there are thousands of people right now in Louisiana who need to be lifted up in prayer. So I hope you will join your prayers to mine for healing and protection," end quote. In addition, the governor has encouraged all Louisianans to receive their COVID vaccines and wear masks whenever they are indoors or in public places to help slow the spread of the disease. The governor has invited hundreds of ministers and pastors from across the state to join him. He has also extended an invitation to everyone regardless of their faith. According to the Louisiana Health Department, there have been 590,446 total COVID-19 cases reported in the state to date, and with 11,260 deaths. After the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals found it lawful, Tennessee's statute imposing a 48-hour waiting period for abortions will remain in effect. A patient seeking an abortion was required by the 2015 law to visit a doctor in person, where the abortion provider informs patients about the health risks and then waits 48 hours for the abortion procedure to take place. The waiting time was found unconstitutional by the United States District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee in October 2020. In a 9-7 majority opinion, Circuit Judge Amul Tapar stated that the statute was constitutional since it did not place a significant barrier in the way of a large number of women seeking abortions before fetal viability. Tennessee Attorney General Herbert Slattery remarked the decision gratifying and constitutional. The annual fetido dutesh, procession by boat and on foot along the Bayou Teche, is currently in its 7th year. The procession always takes place on August 15th, the feast of the Blessed Virgin Mary's Assumption. In addition to prayers to Mary, this year will also focus on praying for the holiness and reunion of families. In his remarks ahead of this year's procession, Lafayette Bishop Douglas Deshotel said it is a, quote, time for all of us to renew our faith, end quote, following in the footsteps of the first Acadians who were driven by their faith when they arrived in Louisiana. The arrival of the Acadians in Louisiana is being commemorated for the 256th anniversary this year. Bishop Douglas alluded to them as examples of ethnic cleansing in the New World, pioneers who were forced to leave their homes because of their Catholic faith. This year's 40-mile Eucharistic procession by boat falls on St. Joseph's Day and the Year of the Family, with boats bearing the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. Joseph accompanying Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. August 9, 2021 marked the 76th anniversary of the Nagasaki, Japan atomic bombing. As the nation commemorates the victims and survivors, the Japanese Catholic Church once again highlights the importance of peace. Speaking to Vatican News ahead of the anniversary, Archbishop Joseph Mitsuwaki Takami of Nagasaki spoke about the atomic bombs and the massive destruction and damage inflicted upon generations. Its irreversible impact on all successive generations underlines the importance of working for peace, said the Archbishop. He also emphasized the urgent need to become a nuclear weapons-free world. Quote, "We know that a world without nuclear weapons does not automatically make for peace. We have to make many efforts towards renewal, to recreate the human spirit by insisting on the importance of the practice of love taught and showed by Jesus Christ," end quote. On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb in Hiroshima, killing an estimated 140,000 people. 3 days later, on August 9th, the U.S. dropped another atomic bomb in Nagasaki that killed 70,000 more people. The Islamist insurgency in Mali continues as militants attack villages, killing at least 40 people. The new attack on the communities of Ouagadougou and Karou on August 9 comes as revenge as the Malian army arrests 2 jihadist leaders denounced by these communities. Quote, "Most of the victims were in front of their houses, others were going to the mosque," end quote, said the local official Umar Sisi to the Associated Press. The armed militants who arrived at the villages around 6 p.m. on Sunday opened fire on, quote, "anything that moved," end quote. The attack took place in the Islamist militant stronghold region along the borders of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The Islamist militants active in the area had seized power of northern Malian cities in 2012. French-led military forces later drove them out. The rebels then regrouped themselves in the rural parts. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.